Welcome to a playoff episode of False Nine. I am your host, Byron Garcia. I'm here with my boy, the one, the only, the myth, the guru, the legend, Mark. How are you today?
Thank you. I'm doing great, man. How are you?
Excited, man. It's a huge Miami sports weekend, but
Mm-hmm.
none better to kick it off than tomorrow's matchup with Inter Miami. The time has come. The time
It
has
has.
come.
It has. It's time for this team to do what it's set out to do, to accomplish, what they set out to accomplish at the beginning of the season. It's time for them to play their best soccer, their best football, with the best tactics, with the best players this season right now. You know, it's a best out of three, but you got to go into every game thinking it's a best of one. Don't
Mhm.
leave anything for the Atlanta team that, just won a wild card game after being down 2-0 away they were up 2-0, um, gave up 2 goals to Montreal, ended up winning on penalty kicks, but
Gave
they
up two
have
goals
nothing.
to Joseph.
That would have been something, huh? If you would have scored a hat trick to beat them.
I mean, and a revenge game against us?
Not so much. I felt like he has more revenge against Atlanta.
Well, it would have been revenge for both of them. Because
Yeah, in a
Atlanta
way.
fought him, and then we just said, you know what, we
Could you
prefer
imagine?
Suarez.
Could you imagine that Bryce Duke, Ariel Lassiter, and Joseph Martinez playing against Inter Miami in the playoffs?
It'd be
Would have been
crazy.
something.
So, yes,
Um,
now, you just mentioned on, when
we
was
have
it?
now, Atlanta.
What was that?
No, I was saying Atlanta. They have nothing to lose,
No,
so
of
they're
course.
gonna come out guns blazing, and these
Yeah,
guys got to
so
be ready for anything.
so on Tuesday, the wild card game, which basically decided which team Inter Miami was going to play,
Hmm.
was played in Montreal. Montreal hosted Atlanta United. uh, like um, like Mark had mentioned, Atlanta jumped out to an early first half 2-0 lead,
Yep.
only to be basically eaten up to even by Joseph Martinez in the 63rd and the 89th, the dying embers of the game with a penalty.
Yes, sir.
Atlanta hung on for a 5-4 penalty shootout victory. What do you think of the matchup between Montreal and Atlanta being the one that comes out?
And quite frankly, that game towards the end was on fumes. It felt like Montreal could have won it at one point or another within the last 5 minutes. They were
Mhm.
going all out for it. Um,
As they should have. It's a de facto playoff game.
of course. And, going up 2-0 away at Montreal, I didn't think the game was necessarily over. Um, that second half still needed to be played. The most dangerous lead in soccer is 2-0,
Yes.
especially on the road against a team playing for nothing. They're playing for a chance to play Inter Miami. And at that point, of course, you want to be a team to be able to say, "Oh, we tried to knock off Inter Miami. We were a team that played them. We gave them a hard test." And that team's going to be Atlanta. And during the season, we drew Atlanta twice.
Mhm.
One early in the one of them was in right before our St. Louis game where we had a couple bad result or drop points, I should say, in those games. A game in which Atlanta shouldn't have been in. A game in which they fired
It
their
was a run of
coach.
draws that we had, right?
Yeah, a game in which they were really at the bottom of the East in terms of how they were playing, the turmoil in the locker room with the coach. Were they going to fire their coach? They ended up letting him go a couple days after, or a couple weeks after um, that Miami game.
And they played us
So
in the first game after letting him go too, right?
no, they play. He still played. He still managed that game. I think they let him go after our game at one maybe a week or two after our game.
This the
because we had an interim coach against an interim coach in Atlanta.
Okay, that's what I think it
Yes,
was. They had just recently let the permanent coach go.
yeah. So having they drew us twice, so they have confidence in that they can sneak two here or draw here on Friday tomorrow. But Inter Miami literally they are the better team. Atlanta does have a couple guys that worry me, including Moranchuk, just because he's played at
Crafty.
Atalanta. He's crafty. He's a number 10, and putting him on the ball makes him dangerous. And then have Sasha. I always can't pronounce his name. Lobjanidze. Lobjanidze. He's
He's the guy who
their
killed us in the middle,
he
right?
kills us. He's their winger, their striker, their winger. Jamal Tyre, their striker, big burly bodied striker. Um, Mayumbo, their center mid. Who else? I mean, it's those guys that have produced for Atlanta this year in order for them to get 2 points against us in games that really they shouldn't have. That game here, we should have played a lot better. We left the midfield wide open. They punished us. The game at um oh, we didn't tie here. We lost to Atlanta here. Yeah, we lost. We didn't win. We lost.
Whatever. The point is, and I'll
This
tell
is
you
a the
when
point
I
is the team is yeah, they beat us 3-1.
okay.
I don't know why they said they drew, but yes, they beat us 3-1, so they have confidence. They don't have Thiago and Mal anymore, as we know, and stuff like that. But it's a team that's given us problems. But I expect Inter Miami to field their best 11. A, something we really that we need to bank on is the best 11 in the MLS.
So here's when the game ended on Tuesday, I was more of a damn it. We struggle against this team.
Mm-hmm.
That was my initial reaction.
Mm-hmm.
And right away I said, that's beautiful. That's perfect. I'll tell you why. One of two things is going to happen. Because we struggled against them in the regular season, the Busquets, Albas, the Messis, we're either going to go one of two ways. They were going to show renewed focus because
Mm-hmm.
of the struggles during the regular season.
Mm-hmm.
And the young kids were going to see this and kind of, you know,
Mm-hmm.
follow suit in terms of this renewed focus.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, that's pretty good. It's pretty good. And then I thought about it and I
Mm-hmm.
said, what if the opponent didn't matter?
Mm-hmm.
What if these guys understand the assignment and basically say, all right, we coasted through the regular season. It's time now to flip that switch and go from maybe 40 to 100. And it's going to be a drastic change that, again, the young kids are going to see. And it can only help them. So to me, Atlanta was almost perfect in terms of a draw because this team knows the struggles we've had. This team now knows it's real.
Mm-hmm.
This team now, knows that um, it's game on,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna come out flying, or should come out flying from go. It shouldn't be what we've seen where okay, we'll wait, we'll kind of feel the game out. Oh, we want to go down. All right, guys, time to start playing. I don't anticipate that kind of um,
Start that
headspace.
mentality.
Correct. I expect, hey, pedal to the metal. Let's come out. Let's kick these guys' ass and go home.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts? That's kind of how I ended up.
No, yeah. When I saw Atlanta, I was like, okay, damn, we we struggled against them. Um,
Thomas
but
says
like you
we just
said,
need to come strong. I agree, and it's what I expect from the team.
yeah, it's like you said, it's time to go. It's go time. Like this is, you know, there are some players and some guys and some teams that say, okay, playoffs, but now, I mean, regular season, good. We got what we wanted, but it's this is what we play for. And I
Right.
think, having the quality of Messi, Busquets, Alba, Suarez that have s- done it plenty of times. In it's Champions League, it's go time. It's time for El Clásico, it's go time. It's time for Copa del Rey, it's go time. It's time for anything else for La Liga to win La Liga. They go. Uh, so yeah, it's gonna be a start that dictates the game.
Yeah, I think that
We can't
now,
allow them. We
go
can't
ahead.
allow them to feel. We can't allow them to feel comfortable.
Right, and this is
So
where I expect. And yes, Thomas is right. Early in the season, we were right for counterattacks. A little less so towards the end of the season. I think they kind of shored that up a bit, but I agree with Thomas. I think this is the time where Busquets plays the most important part in making sure that we stay on the ball. This is the time where Messi needs to come maybe out to midfield a little bit more,
mhm,
take the ball from there, and bring it into the final third to avoid these unnecessary passes, to just kind of take the bull by the horns. And I think
mhm,
that in combination with Jordi Alba should be enough to propel us against Atlanta. Um, they do have some guys that kind of hurt us, like you mentioned,
mhm.
but I think that uh, in this case, a good offense is the best defense. Stay on the
I agree.
ball, keep the ball, limit
And,
the amount of time they can hurt us.
and quite frankly, I'll be at the game. Um, I'm excited to see the crowd, the atmosphere at that stadium. It's a close, it's an open stadium and stuff like that, but you can really
Listen,
hear the crowd.
they're in a perfect world. Um, and I'll show you what I mean in a second. But in a perfect world, I would want, um, and I'm pulling up the video now. In a perfect world, I would want our stadium to look like the video that I'm going to show you. I know it's not possible just because we live in the United States. There's so much that isn't allowed here that is allowed elsewhere. Um,
Pyrotechnics,
yeah, I mean, yeah,
the flares and all that stuff.
to start. So I'm gonna pull up the video. If for some reason um Drive Pink can look anywhere near this, I will be a happy man.
I mean,
If
that
if
that's a lot to ask. Where is this? This is what I'm gonna guess. Oh my God. Is that
oh
the
my god, if it could look anywhere close
is this like the
to
Turkish
this.
league? No, this isn't. Is this Turkish league? Where'd you find this? What is this? Who is this?
No sir, this is
South American? No.
the Copa Libertadores final. Yes sir.
Oh, Jesus.
Now, if I can get 1/100th of that, Thomas says Atlanta's plan is going to be to close the midfield to make. Yeah, that's been the
They're gonna
book
try to
almost
make
all season.
they're gonna try to make us play wide, not play through the
Hmm.
middle, and that's where we have to be. If they're gonna give us the wide options, we gotta take it.
Yep.
Take the wide options. Take Jordi Alba wide. Take Diego Gomez wide. Take Messi
And
wide, or whoever Matias Rojas wide. Take all those guys. If they're gonna make us play wide, let them and you play that game, knowing that you have Yannick Bright and Busquets in the midfield, and see and go from there.
yeah, but yeah, if I can get 1/100th of the video I just played, I don't even want like just 1/100th. I want that place to be
Rocking,
rock.
yeah.
So think about this weekend. We have Inter Miami Friday, and I want that place to be. I mean, I want the stadium to be shaking. You have the Canes FSU on Saturday, and that
Yep,
stadium needs to be shaking. And then
it
you
will be.
have, huh?
Yeah, I think that game will be shaking. It
And then
always
you
is.
have,
FSU, man, yeah.
and then you have Tua's return for the Dolphins. So
Hmm.
You have big things every day this weekend. And I think that Miami needs to show out in all three of them. I think that Atlanta needs to be Atlanta needs to say WTF when
Yeah.
they walk into that stadium
Hmm.
and see that atmosphere. I'm with Skrilla right here. Vamos Miami, 100%. They
Yep.
need to show like it needs to be intimidating. It needs to be loud. It there needs to be and listen, I've been to a few games. It needs to reek of marijuana. Beer needs to be raining from the state. It always reeks of marijuana in the supporters section.
Oh
But it
man,
needs to reek of marijuana. Beer needs to be flying everywhere.
I need to hear
Everyone needs to be
drums. I need to hear everything. Drums, trumpets, everything.
everything, and that's what it needs to be. And you know, we should come out with a win. And I think that when we go back to Atlanta, it should be on the veterans to show these kids how to not play with their food.
Yeah.
And I think the first lesson of not playing with their food starts on Friday.
You take care of business at home.
Yeah, I mean, you've earned the
Opportunity.
opportunity. Yeah, you've
Right.
earned
The
the privilege.
opportunity to play your best of three at home and
Correct.
to have them field throughout the playoffs.
And I don't need a third game.
No.
I don't need one. Take care of business Friday, and then take care of business in Atlanta, and move on.
Hmm.
Um, moving on now from the playoff game because I'm a little too hype right now. I'm kind of trying to fidget in my seat. Messi, a finalist for MLS MVP. Suarez also a finalist for MVP.
Yep.
Tata finalist for
Manager of the year, coach of the year.
the Siggy Schmidt trophy. Thoughts?
On which one first? MVP or Tata?
We'll go MVP first and then Tata.
Um, both of them are deserving. Both of them have a case to win it. It's gonna go to Messi. It deserves to go to Messi. He has more goal involvements in 20 or in like 14, 15 less games than Teke and all these other guys that are up there and stuff and Acosta and Cucho. He's the best player in the MLS and he shows it every game.
Do you think his playing time should have any weight on
No,
the trophies?
no. Why?
I'm just asking.
I don't think so. If he's the
Okay.
best player in the league, he deserves it.
This is my job here. My job
He's
is
the
to
best
ask.
player in the he's the best player in the league. He's the he when he plays like he 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 plays, he produces. I mean, he's played a full season. He has incredible. He's only played in 2 years. He's played a full season. He's played 32 games for us in 2 seasons total, and he's producing at an unreal rate.
Well, in 2 seasons, he became the team's highest scorer.
Yeah, he's the best player in the league. He's the most valuable player. You're not going to take. I mean, Luis Suarez has a case for himself as well, but he's just teammates with Messi,
Do
and
you
Messi's going to
think
win it.
Cucho has a dog in that fight in terms of chances?
He does because people are going to bring up all the Messi, our record with Messi out and this and that. That's why that he has a dog in the fight, but realistically, he doesn't compare to Messi in the goal involvements and in the if Cucho had the same amount of games as Messi, I really wonder how he would do, what his
Fair.
numbers would be. Because you give Messi, if you put Messi in the amount of games that Cucho has played,
Okay, because I was gonna correct you on that. I
that's gonna
think
score what 30. He might score 30 goals and have 35 assists.
because I think you said it incorrectly. Oh,
That's it.
we're Inter Miami show and Inter Miami fans, but I think you said it incorrectly. I don't think it's give Cucho the amount of games Messi has. It's
Give Messi the amount of
if
games.
Messi had played the amount of games Cucho had, because Cucho is and in a lot of sports, the saying is true. Your best ability is your availability. Now, Messi's ankle, we saw what it was in Copa America that It's really not his fault. I think he did a much better job playing this year than he did last year. Um, Understandably so, because last year he was coming off of a full season in France, and although he's showered in greatness, you can tell he was on fumes. Um, this season he
Mhm.
had the ankle injury, um, and I think that he was fit enough to not get hurt like he did last year during the international breaks. Um,
Okay.
so I think I think Messi's deserving. Would I be mad if they gave it to somebody else? A little bit, but not much. I'd understand the example that they'd be trying to set. Now
Okay.
your thoughts on the Tata chances.
Um, Tactically, is he the best coach in the league? No. Wilfred
If not
Nancy
him, who?
is. Wilfred Nancy.
Okay, that's the
But
other candidate.
is Tata did orchestrate and lead this team. I don't know, people are gonna say, oh, he had Messi. He did. He was at the helm. He had good games as a manager. He did lead him to 74 points and breaking the supporter shield record.
Now I'll throw this in the same manner you threw it out with the first conversation. People are gonna point to our record without Messi as
Mm-hmm.
a negative towards Messi. But I think that same stat is a positive
For Tata,
for Tata.
100%. That he was able to get that win of 7 straight games or whatever it
Whether
was
Messi was
without
there or not.
7-1. We went 7-1, beating some quality teams without Messi. Beat Columbus here without Messi. Um, the Philadelphia comeback without Messi. Um,
Thomas says the coach of the year is only about the MLS, not tournaments. So if Tata he won without Messi, and he yeah.
yeah, he does deserve it. So his work with if another coach had this team without Messi, how would they do?
I
How do you
think
think?
we're a second worst team.
How do you think Wilfred Nancy would do with this team without Messi?
I think they might be
Do you think we still get first, or you think we finish anywhere from first to fourth?
I think we finish. I wouldn't say first. I say we finish anywhere from 2 to 5 with Wilfred Nancy.
Because let's
I think,
remember, Wilfred Nancy's his tactics use a
yeah,
back three, and that back three is solely dependent on Camacho. And if you hone in on Camacho and you make him defend, it goes to shit.
yeah.
Tata was able to orchestrate a back five. The development of Noah Allen needs to be,
Hold on. Did you just
applauded.
say a back five? Did
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just say
I
what?
did. I did.
What?
At times it works. I gotta give him credit. Um, the Give him credit for giving Yannick Bright the opportunity. Give him credit for you know really letting Jordi Alba free. You
Cook?
know, yes. And being able, the one thing that Tata's always gonna have is the game management and the subs, and which I
Right.
get.
He's
There
still
are
back.
times that yes, but this is the time where he needs to be the best.
Skrilla says for me the back five is better because of Alba and the counterattacks.
Yeah, it gives Alba the freedom to run, but
Yeah,
I don't
we've
think
had
I
some
want,
struggles with it
huh?
early.
Yeah, we did. Just because I don't think we had the center back solidified, but when we slot in Busquets as a center back, it gives us it does a lot of wonders for us. So we got to give credit to Tata there. You know, like I said, he may not be the best tactically in
Hmm.
terms of this and that, X's and O's, and selecting the best player personnel. But there are things he does get right, and you got to give him credit. And he got this team right, he got the season right, and it led us to 74 points in the first place.
No, I'm 100% with you. I think he's done enough to win the Coach of the Year. I would say there's less warts on Tata for winning Coach of the Year than there is
Messi
Messi winning,
MVP.
Messi winning the MVP. I think both deserve them, but I think that Tata's claim to the trophy is cleaner than Messi's, just because of time missed due to
Or
injuries. Although Tata does miss quite a few games with the accumulation of yellows because he's an absolute dumbass uh, when dealing with officials and referees. Um, yeah, we should have a pregame uh, pregame analysis. Please subscribe to our social media. You see it scrolling down at the bottom. Uh, the analysis will be on Twitter and on Instagram. Our very own Mark is going to be attending the game, so we should have a report from the stadium, possibly gauging that atmosphere there, and then tune in for the second episode of Stoppage Time, with the post game show for the analysis of the game with Mark. We will be having a season wrap up show whenever the season does end, and that's where we'll break down what we were expecting from this team preseason, and how all of our predictions ended up. It'll be the way we end this first season of False Nine. Is there anything else that you want to bring up before we go on and head on out of here, Mark?
no, I think it's this is what every Inter Miami fan wanted when the team was brought up, um, to fight for the MLS Cup, and now we have the chance to do that at home. It's go time. The lights are on. Let's see who shines the brightest.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Skrilla. You guys are the bomb. And we'll see you guys next week with hopefully more wins under our belt. With more wins under our belt, and we will put out those reports later on. All right, guys. See y'all next week.
Have a good one.